As a huge Foo Fighters fan, I just lost my mind. And he lit up. He absolutely lit up when he took the stage.
Welcome back to Foos Files. It's Dan here with you for a unscheduled episode 5. But guess what? Dave Grohl was back on stage playing Foo Fighters songs at the weekend, so just had to jump on and do something. There was me in episode 1 saying that hopefully we'll have some news to react to soon. And lo and behold, Dave turns up at Coachella to play with the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra, which was so good to see. I know he's done a couple of bits and pieces this year, the Nirvana stuff for Saturday Night Live and the LA Fire Relief gig, but to actually see him back up front playing Foos songs, that's what we all really wanted. Surprise appearance? Well, yes and no. There was a bit of a timeline to this over the course of a week or so that a lot of you will have been following on social media. So for background, for those of you who aren't familiar with Coachella, perhaps, it's held in California in the Coachella Valley in the desert, and it's the biggie really when it comes to American festivals. Here in the UK we've got Glastonbury, in Europe there's Tomorrowland and Roskilde, Brazil has Rock in Rio and so on. So when you're talking about the major music festivals in terms of scale, demand, influence, Coachella is right up there as one of the biggest in the world, if not the biggest, and they get all the biggest acts. So this year you had Lady Gaga, Green Day, Post Malone among others. And because of demand, in 2012, Coachella took the step of doubling up. So instead of just taking place over a weekend, they started doing it back-to-back weekends, effectively doing a repeat with largely the same lineup. And over the Easter period, it was weekend 2. So again, as a bit of context to Dave's performance, for those who haven't been following, in the run-up to the first weekend, some video clips started to emerge from a TikToker called Chalet Art, a painter and makeup artist who's based in the hills overlooking the Hollywood Bowl, which is where the Coachella rehearsals were taking place. And she posted a clip of Everlong being played with an orchestra in the background, which we now know to be the LA Philharmonic. And this was followed up by another clip shortly after of The Sky is a Neighbourhood. So it was like, right, something's going on here. The Saturday night comes around, LA Philharmonic take to the stage, 6:25 local time. They're well into the throes of their set, and it's time to bring out a special guest, LL Cool J, not Dave Grohl. So a bit of a false alarm, and we roll on to weekend 2. Then a few days later, there's another rehearsal clip from the same TikToker, and it's The Sky is a Neighbourhood again from the Hollywood Bowl, this time with gospel singers backing up Dave's vocal. So it's got to be happening, Coachella, the second Saturday. And sure enough, same time, same place, LA Philharmonic take to the stage, and about 2/3 of the way through, on strolls Dave with his trademark Blue Gibson 335. He's looking really well, and he does the 2 songs that we were expecting based on those leaked clips. In terms of the song choices, I mean, Everlong, obviously, no-brainer. It's their signature song. If you're picking one to play to a non-Foo Fighters audience, it's inevitable, really, that's going to be in there. And it's had a few different live adaptations over the course of time as well. And then there's The Sky is a Neighbourhood. Of course, it's one that the Foo Fighters have performed live with backing singers many times, particularly on the Concrete and Gold tour. So that was a good fit as well. And the LA Phil gospel singers sounded awesome. The young girl on the drums too absolutely smashed it, which I'm sure Dave will have loved. And the whole orchestra did a great job. Excellent adaptations of both songs. They sounded really full, really brought them to life. I saw a few comments about Dave's voice possibly sounding a bit hoarse in places, which, you know, it happens. He's a screamer. He pushes his voice to the limit. Could also have been a bit of rust. You also don't know what the monitor sound is like on stage for the artists at these festivals when there's a quick changeover between acts and the sound checks aren't as thorough. Nevertheless, it's our guy up there on the big stage performing Foo Fighters songs in the band's 30th anniversary year, and that's really what we all wanted to see. And hopefully we'll get a bit more of that from him and the rest of the band in due course. Anyway, that's my little take on it all, just from watching the clips online. Now we're going to hear from someone who was actually there. Lisa Shroyer is a Foo Fighters fan from Seattle who spent the weekend at the festival. Dave's performance did actually come as a surprise to her, but thankfully she stuck around to see it all. Lisa, thanks for coming on to speak to us after a busy weekend down at Coachella. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff. So, set the scene for us. How was your Coachella experience? What was the vibe like at the weekend?
Oh, the vibe was amazing. I actually, when I was walking back last night after everything was done, I pretty much put this one as my favorite Coachella of all the ones I've been to. It was just weekend two always has the true fans. What I say, the music lovers. It's not all about the celebrities and the influencers, and everybody's really amped up to be there, and everybody's so kind. And you're with 100,000+ people who just love music of all different kinds. So I was excited. I probably saw some great sets that I felt very, very lucky to see.
How many Coachellas have you been to now then?
I started going after they opened back up after COVID. So during COVID, I needed to escape Seattle, the lockdown and the kind of gloomy weather. So ended up buying a house down here in Palm Springs. And that's the following years when they started back up. And I've been every year since. And can't believe I haven't gone before this. So love it. I'll go every year until my body doesn't work anymore.
So you're right on the doorstep then, your house, Palm Springs.
Yeah. So Palm Springs, it's really convenient. Coachella has shuttle buses. So I drive 5 minutes away from my house, park my car, hop on the shuttle bus. So if I'm drinking, don't have to worry about a thing. And it's about a 35-minute roll down the highway to get to the Polo Club.
Awesome. Very jealous. Very, very jealous. So one of the big talking points of the weekend was LA Philharmonic with special guest Dave Grohl, which is what you've come on to talk about because he's back up front playing Foo Fighters songs. Obviously, he's done some bits this year with doing this kind of Nirvana stuff, but it was, I say, a big surprise. We sort of knew it was coming because there'd been some stuff on social media with the rehearsals down at the Hollywood Bowl that had leaked. But what was the word on the ground at the festival? Were people talking about it? Dave Grohl's going to be appearing. Was it kind of doing the rounds? Or?
Not at all. Like nobody had a clue. That was not one of those things that was widely spoken about. We had heard that Natasha Bedingfield was going to be there and Cynthia Erivo. So we thought, oh, maybe Cynthia Erivo will come out. Maybe we'll get Ariana Grande with her, and they'll sing. Wasn't sure. But I was actually more excited to go see, the LA Phil and Gustavo Dumel. So it was just something different. I've gotten to see a lot of those kind of what I call one-off sets at Coachella in the past. And I thought it was a good break for the middle of the day, someplace you kind of go sit down, get off your feet, out at the outdoor stage, kind of relax with the people. Well, no, it was crazy. It was amazing.
Wow. So to get hit by that as a surprise then for you, it was kind of out of the blue. That must have been amazing when just after halfway through, wasn't it? Suddenly Dave Grohl walks on with his blue Gibson guitar and there he is, two Foo Fighters songs.
Almost walked out of the show at that point because, with all the different stages going on, your set times always have conflicts. So there's overlap. So if you want to get to another stage and one show starting at this time and the other show that you're seeing ends 10 minutes after, you've got to leave early to have time to go walk. And I really wanted to go see Charlie XCX. So I was like, I want to get a good spot for Charlie. Let's go. And actually my son's like, let's just hang out here. I don't want to go into the pit for Charlie because he had seen her last weekend, and I've seen her at Coachella before. I'm like, totally cool. We'll stay here. And next thing you know, it Dave blew my mind away. Everybody freaked out. So I'm sure there were a handful of people that may had heard, some rumors, some speculation, but it really wasn't the whole widespread gossip. And we definitely didn't get any kind of indication from Coachella in their little teaser notes that we get sometimes.
So it was literally because his name came up on the big screen behind the LA Phil, didn't it?
Yep, it came up, and we were sitting on the ground, so we didn't know exactly what was going on for a second because there were some people standing up. We were just there enjoying the music, and then everybody started screaming, so we hopped up, and I'm like, can I swear on here?
Yeah.
I thought, Dave fucking Grohl, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And as a huge Foo Fighters fan, I just lost my mind. And um, he lit up. He absolutely lit up when he took the stage. So you could see this. It was like he needed this. He absolutely needed this experience. And you don't rarely see Dave smile on stage often. And at the end, there was just beaming, beaming. Um, so I kind of chalk it up right place, right time. I was very lucky.
Oh, just a bit. If you'd have walked off mid set and you'd have found out later on that you missed that.
I would have died. There's, yeah, I would have been really bummed out. And this is the music that I know and love, which is just kind of it started off back in the grunge days as an '80s kid in Seattle, um, getting to see some of the most amazing shows, and then you know evolving from the Nirvana, on to the Foo Fighters. It's always stuck with me. And even my son's 21, loves the Foo Fighters. Went to the last Foo Fighters show last summer with me in Seattle.
Wow. So, and he's looking great, isn't he? People were saying, "Hi, he looks like he's been hitting the weights," and it was just great to see him back up front doing Foo Fighters music for the first time since the tour finished, and yeah, just looking really good.
Looked super healthy. Didn't look tired. And sometimes I've seen Dave look like he's worn out a bit. Didn't look exhausted. Looked healthy. Looked happy. Still looked like Dave. It wasn't like this drastic. I lost 50 pounds or anything like that. But he just looked good, and thrilled to be there. And
Yeah.
man, put on two great songs. Just absolutely amazing. And to be backed by the LA Phil, it was just so cool.
Yeah, and it's just a measure of the breadth of his musical ability, isn't it? Because he's always finding ways to do something different and reinvent the songs. And I know that Everlong's been done in various guises before and stuff like that, but just to hear those songs being done like that, as you say, backed by the LA Philharmonic, it was
Yeah,
just incredible the way that it was all put together.
it just gave it the songs a whole different vibe. Um, but it was still their song, it was still the song. But it was really cool. But look at the Foo Fighters in general. They're amazing. They go out and cover the Bee Gees and just killed it. So, I think for Dave, it's just truly the love of music. It is truly the love of his God given talent and performing for people. I think he's the most energetic when I see him on stage. And I've met him in real life, um, in person, and had a really fun event with him back in like 2016, um, back when Paul Allen was alive and would host these like Founders Award every year. And I always called it his excuse, Paul Allen's excuse, to get up on stage with his band, which he loved, 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 and invite all these amazing artists to come in and have a charitable component to it. And that year, and I'd gone almost every year, and that year it was honoring Joe Walsh from the Eagles, and the guest performers were, let's see, Ringo Starr, who's his brother-in-law, um, and Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and Dave Grohl, and Taylor Hawkins, and Todd Rundgren. That was it was really cool. So, anyways, Dave was sitting at the table next to me. He and I were smokers, and he'd keep on going, Lisa, do you want to go smoke? Do you want to go smoke? And my husband finally looked at me and said, just have a Dave night. Don't forget I'm here. Go have fun. And so we would go out, we'd run out, because he's a big smoker. We'd run out, we'd keep running out, having smokes. And I think the funny story of that night is it had been snowing in Seattle. And we were on the back of the Mopop, which was the Experience Music Project at the time. And we were on the back side, which is on the Seattle Center grounds. And the area is blocked off, from any kind of vehicle traffic. But somehow somebody had brought their vehicle on the grounds and was doing donuts in the big area behind Mopop, which is normally like a playground for kids. And, it's nighttime. And Dave said, that looks like fun. Should we go do that? And I said, oh, I don't know. And he goes, it's probably a really bad idea, isn't it? And I said, probably a really bad idea. And he's like, God, that looks fun though. And as we were talking, the guy in the car stopped the car, and he was probably 150 feet away. And he got out, and he was like, woohoo, like that, just kind of. And Dave screamed out like, very cool, man. And the guy stopped in his tracks, and he goes, you're Dave fucking Grohl. And he just started laughing. And we're like, yeah. And then we went back inside. But it was a pretty amazing evening spent smoking with Dave outside almost half the night. Chris Novoselic was there. He didn't perform, but he was there. It was just ton of really cool people, and they were all nice, and I got to meet Taylor, which was pretty special.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are some benefits sometimes to being a smoker.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a hell of a story. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a smoker anymore, but yeah.
Yeah. Just to quickly back onto the festival to wrap that one up, it must have sounded so full and big with him being backed by all those musicians. I know the Foo Fighters sound is incredible anyway. They fill stadiums. It's huge, but it must have just sounded really kind of spellbinding with all the gospel singers and everything.
And the strings. I mean, it was just, it gave it a whole different feel, but it was still very, I would say it was actually more crisp and clean than a traditional Foo Fighters set. That's definitely more, edgy and a little bit more fluid. This was definitely crisp, clean, bold, filled with energy. I mean, it was, when The Sky is a Neighborhood came on, and I'm like, and I love that song. It's like I was transported somewhere else, because I was like, is this really happening? This is amazing.
Yeah, and I don't know how much, when you're at a show, really, you don't necessarily pay as much attention to individual bits, but certainly from watching on the stream, the drumming is obviously, for obvious reasons, always a big talking point in the Foo Fighters songs, because you've had three all-time greats in the band, Josh, Taylor, Dave. How good was the young girl playing the drums? She absolutely killed it.
She did. She killed it. Killed it. I mean, I just think the LA Phil as a whole is just, you don't get much better. So, and it really shows their versatility to be able to adapt to all different kinds of music, and do it well. And yeah, they came out and they killed it. And they, again, aside playing with Dave, they did so many different genres of music for that set. But yes, the girl drummer was, I wish I knew her name because she was amazing.
Well, it's some testament to be able to do that with the great man in front of you.
It's got to be a
Uh,
little nerve wracking, I would assume, too.
oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I saw that I got a picture with him, and he got his thumbs up, so got the seal of approval anyway. But you knew that he would have appreciated that and how good she was. So
Oh, yeah, for sure.
yeah. So just quickly, how was the rest of the festival? Who else did you get to see?
Oh, gosh. I probably went to 20 some odd shows. Um, I was saying, as I was walking out last night talking to my son, I was kind of mentally kind of running over the weekend thinking, God, what stood out? Um, and I've never seen a performance like Lady Gaga at Coachella. It was like world tour quality. The production itself was insanity. Um, and then Missy Elliott, she was another one that just killed it again with her, all her dancers, so spot on. Um, I had the most fun at Zed, just just bouncing around. It was absolutely fantastic. And I don't know if you heard, but he brought out Incubus,
Yes, I
which
think I saw that. I saw that on someone's Instagram story. It might have been yours actually, but I did see
yeah,
that. Yes.
yeah, um, which is like the furthest thing from what anybody would have ever expected for Zed to bring out. I mean, we're not even talking. He's never worked with them. It's not the same genre. But it was cool, and you know what? The crowd loved it. Um, there is a group called the Basement Jacks who
Yeah.
completely surprised me. I had never heard of them or seen them, and I went to go see them, and absolutely killed it. And I danced the entire set.
Oh,
The
they're absolute legends over here in the UK.
Oh yeah,
Basement Jacks.
I never heard them. My son's like, you should go check out Basement Jacks. I'm like, okay, what kind of music? And he's like, I call it soulful pop dance. I go, okay, I'll go see that. I could have stayed and danced for another hour if they'd kept playing. Absolutely spectacular. Um, and although I'm not a huge country fan, Shabuzi put on a really solid set. I mean, just vocally, and he was so humbled to be there. It was it was pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty. I saw so many shows. I'm like trying to remember what I went and saw, and I've only posted a handful of videos because I haven't even gone through them and had the chance to even review a lot of them. Um, but Green Day, I have to say, something else. Just absolutely smashed it. Smashed it from start to finish. It was high energy. It was just vocal perfection. The crowd loved it. And that's a lot to say when you have Green Day, a lot of these kids that are in their 20s, this isn't the music they grew up on. And my son and his four college buddies loved Green Day, and they're big like rap fans. Like they went to go see Mustard, um, which I would have seen if it wasn't against Gaga. But that's their kind of love, and they loved Green Day.
Yeah, that's one I was very jealous of. It's a massive of the kind of hundreds of bands I've seen over the years, they're a huge one on the missing list, Green Day. For whatever reason, I've just never managed to quite catch them. So very jealous that you got to see them.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm kind of the same way. I've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows. Like 20 years ago, I think I stopped counting at 600 shows. I just said, forget it. I got to stop. But I'm at a show like at least every month. But yeah, most disappointing, Post Malone. I know he's moved towards the whole country genre. Super, I mean, just seems like an amazing human being. And, but I would have liked to heard a little bit more of his original stuff, in the full rock mode. He countrified, what I call it, quite a bit.
I've got to admit, I sound like an old snob, but the kind of modern country music, it just doesn't do it for me. So I hear you there.
No, yeah, definitely, it was a little different. I kind of akin it to when I went and saw Stained, and then I went to fly down to Reno, and then he turned completely country. I went to go see him at a show there because the first show was so good. And then I'm like, what just happened? What just happened? And yeah, shocked.
Did you see Sam Fender?
I did not. I did
No.
not. I'd have to go over my schedule here and even remember. I'm sure I'm missing a ton of people that I saw just because that's the way it went. I went and saw Benson Boone, um, the Sacred Souls, 3-6 Mafia. Saturday, I was all over. I went and saw Ed Sheeran and Yo Gabba Gabba. So much fun. Oh, so you were saying Sam Fender was right after that, right?
Yeah.
I went to go see T-Pain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam Fender's I don't know how he's landing in the US, but he's the man of the moment in the UK. He's just brought his third album out, and he's from an area up north called North Shields, and everyone calls him the North Shields Springsteen because he's very Bruce Springsteen influenced, and he's amazing. So if ever you get a chance to catch him,
I will definitely listen and see what I think. And yesterday was a lot of just running around all over the place, picking up bits and pieces of shows as I was walking stage to stage to stage. It wasn't as scheduled out as my first 2 days. So I kind of saw a little bit of this, that, and everything else, except for Basement Jaxx, which I watched the whole set. And Zed and the LA Phil. And I hate to say I didn't even stay for all of Post Malone, but that's the way it goes.
Thanks so much to Lisa for jumping on a call bright and early to share her Coachella experience with me. We'll be back next week with an interview episode. That's unless the guys decide to drop any more news on us. But in the meantime, please do hit the follow or subscribe button on your favourite podcast app. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.